What's going on, everyone? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a custom UI navigation bar, or pretty much UI navigation controller within SwiftUI. We won't be using, or we'll kind of show over what exactly I mean. In this example that you can see on here, I actually am working on this project, which I'm not really trying to give details about. And as you can see right at the top, the navigation bar has a more of a violent sort of color. This is more of a mixed color I have with the accent color for the application. And you can also see that what is this? I can't think of it. The status bar style is at dark content, even though this entire app is actually, I have it set to only light mode. So I'm going to be showing you how to do all of that within SwiftUI. Without further ado, we can get started. And yeah, let's just hopefully we can show off exactly what I've got going on here. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this app, or create a new app project. Of course, we're going to be doing iOS. I'm going to select the app. Everything in here, of course, is going to be SwiftUI just for example's sake, and we're just going to say custom navigation bar. So when we go into here, and usually what I used to do is I used to create a init body right in the main struct of the application. Just say UI navigation bar dot appearance, and then you can say bar tint color. Some of these I really think that the naming of these are kind of confusing. So bar tint color is always the modifier that you go to customize the background of the navigation bar. We moved that in here. You would think that that would be just for this struct. Unfortunately, that is really not the case, and I'm going to show you why, because this is actually going to be a global change within your application. So wherever in a SwiftUI or UIKit sort of file, this thing right here where we're changing the appearance of the navigation bar is going to be global to the entire application. That's a really annoying thing that I hate about it. As you can see, we'll make it a scroll view. First of all, the appearance, or there's multiple appearances for the UI navigation bar, for compact, standard, scroll, and I think it's compact scroll. And right now I think this is just compact. I really get, like I said, confused on these names as well. And as you can see, we would think that this is just for this view. And the other annoying factor is that the navigation title is black when we might want it to be, white, for example. And let's say we try to, now this is a navigation view. Now we try to make a navigation link to another view. Let's just make another content view. Say content view 2. Of course, as always, when you're doing navigation links, you don't need to specify another navigation bar because it'll make a double one. So you can just do vstack here, and then let's just say navigation title here is content view 2. And let's just go ahead and put that in content view 2. Alright, and we don't have a label for the button, so we're just going to say text. It's going to say push to next view. Or is it? Yep, at the bottom. So we push the next view. As you can see, oh, we don't have a scroll. I wanted to show the scroll off. Same thing is happening here. And once again, the navigation title is a different color, and the back button and the indicator are still, the set blue, which you can't change. Actually, you can't do that. But the annoying part is that now this is, global to this, this content view as well, when we might just want it to be within this view. So like I said, how can we fix this? So the way I thought around it, and I actually have done like my own things of trial and error when I've tried to get, a custom navigation view and SwiftUI, just because I just find it kind of annoying. And it really took a lot of kind of practice to figure out and understand the navigation controller and the navigation bar to really get everything going. So the really much way around it, of course, you probably already know the word, is going to be a UI view representable. And you can use representable context, representable. I'm just going to be using representable for today. Let's go ahead and create a new file, custom UI nav. Let's just say UI nav controller. All right, perfect. Now, two things we need to get in here, of course, is UIKit and SwiftUI, just so we can expose UIKit and SwiftUI to each other and vice versa. So I'm going to actually go ahead and create the struct for a custom navigation view. And this is going to be a UIViewController representable. And of course, they're probably going to complain because we haven't put the type alias of what UIViewController we're specifying. So we're going to say a UINavigationController. All right, build again. Let it fix itself. And as you can see, we get two of the main protocol methods for this, pretty much the protocol, which is of course update the UIViewController or make the UIViewController. I'm not going to worry about updating it as much because we're not really going to be doing anything too crazy with that. So for now, actually, we can just return a regular, you know, good old UI navigation controller. Hopefully it's satisfied with that. Okay, cool. And now what we need to do, of course, is get a custom one in here. Now we can leave it like this, where we, let's say, let nav controller do this and the nav controller everything off of that, but I want to be, like I said, clean in this way. So what we're going to do is create a class, of course, and we're going to make this final so nothing inherits to it. We're just going to say nav controller. I got to really watch out for naming, because sometimes SwiftUI gets really confused, because I don't know, SwiftUI just gets really confused. So we're going to inherit from UINavigationController, of course, and this should do the trick for now. And the thing is that since it already inherits from UINavigationController, we can just say, you know, return navigation controller, and I'm going to show you what methods and properties we're going to be passing over to the strut as well. So from what I remember, at least from what I remember, like I say, in the project that I just showed y'all on the emulator, or the simulator, I passed over the color of the background, the navigation bar or navigation title text color, and the status bar style. So we're going to get a couple properties in. So we're going to say var, just to make it cleaner, background color. So this will be the background color of the navigation bar. So we're going to say it's going to be a standard UI color, and just go ahead and put some naming in here. Fun fact, if you do a double dash or like a triple dash, this actually puts in the naming of it. You can put in like a description of it. The background of the navigation bar. Perfect. I think we say bar status style. I'll just say status style for now. And then we'll say UI status bar style. Of course, that is also going to be there. And then you see it right at the top, the status bar style, or, you know, the view representable is pretty much complaining that this parameter is not passed, or this argument is not passed. And as you can see, we can do either dark content, so that'll be for, like, you know, dark mode, and where the status bar will be white, and then if it's for light content, it'll be dark. So just for this example, I'm going to be doing dark. Since this, you know, a navigation controller wraps around pretty much the entire, you know, another UI view controller, we have to actually pass through a view of whatever, you know, of whatever view we're going to be, you know, passing through from SwiftUI. So usually we can just pass through a generic, go ahead and say content view, and then it's probably going to complain that the view is not satisfied. So we're going to say inits, and this is how I usually like to do it, just because the way it will look cleaner. So we can say the title is a string, and that'll be the title of the navigation. Of course, status bar style, status style, I remember, UI status bar style, which of course needs to be there. And then we need to pass in the content, and we need to be escaping right out of wherever we're escaping from all the time. And we need to return of type content. As a matter of fact, while we're here, we can actually go ahead and put in, we can go ahead and put in a view builder tag right here, just because if we put in like an empty view, it'll complain that it doesn't conform to any view. So as you can see, we got to pass through all this stuff because it's not exactly happy with it. See, we have the title, and we're, like I said, we're going to pass all of that in through here as well. So let's say let title is a string, let status bar style, and of course you don't have to really make this a constant since it's not immutable, so you can just always make it a var if you want. You might want to do some additional things here. This is just for example's sake. And of course as well, we need to pass through content view, just because, let's say I don't know, I want to make content, I make content, I don't know, a variable for now, just because I don't remember if I did it a variable or a constant. And we're going to be turning up type content. Title already going. Status bar style, I meant to name that something else. And then we can just pass through content as, well, no, we got to make sure we're getting not context, content through here. All right, perfect. And as you can see, the only error right now is that we're not calling the super view or the super initializer. So we actually have to go ahead and get that knitted. Getting a SwiftUI view within UIKit is fairly simple through the use of a UI hosting controller. So we're just going to say let HC equal UI hosting controller. And as you can see, root view is a type view. So we can go ahead and say content. Go ahead and pass it through as a like that. And when we do super.net, you see the root view controller. Since UI hosting controller is already a view controller, we can just say HC. And we can go ahead and satisfy that from there. And boom, we're almost, like I said, we're almost done here. That's really how almost easy this thing can be. All right, now let's specify all the little things we want to specify here, of course. So we're going to say self.NavigationBar.bar tint color. Remember that same thing we passed through here. Oh, that was the other thing I didn't pass through. Let's say bar tint is a UI color. And the cool thing here is that we can just pass through a color. So we're going to say let color bar color. And we're going to say color because you can actually get a UI color can actually get through color. So UI color, as you can see, we already have a method built in right for that. Where did it go? I just saw it. These things always kind of when you see it, you got to catch it right away, or if sometimes you remember the syntax ill. Let's go ahead and see it's saying properties unused. Bar tint. Jesus, I am so sorry. Oh my god, I didn't forgot to put in one more parameter. I really do apologize. We need to get the navigation title color. We're gonna say title color. Once again, is a UI color. Let title color equal a color. Build that so we can get the typical argument error. Title color, once again, UI color. Title color. There is already a variable we can override for UINavigationController where we can override the status bar style. And just we're going to say how we just did preferred, if I can spell, preferred status bar style. And go ahead and say return self.status style. For the title, I don't know what it is about SwiftUI and what I've done here, but the navigation bar title, even though the syntax for SwiftUI when you're putting in the actual navigation title on a VStack, for example, within the navigation view, it works, but for some reason, for the likes of, let's say, a UI tab view or a tab bar or tab view, it actually kind of just it's no longer there, and I never really figured out how to fix that. So maybe someone can give me some insight on that. But for the meantime, we just passed the string value of the navigation bar title, navigation bar top item, not title. Here we go. A lot of things going on here. Title right here. Let it build. Correct. Self.NavigationBar.title text attributes. Yeah. So the only thing, you can specify other things within here as well for the attributes, but for now we're just going to be specifying the foreground color, which of course where it says right there the color of the text. As you can see, there's another one for font. If you want to bring in font, that's totally up to you, but just for this example, we're going to be passing through the foreground color, and of course that needs a value, and so we're just going to be passing over title color. Pretty much it for the navigation bar, navigation view. I mean, now if we go back to content view, and since this is a view, we can just plug this in. There's no need for any of this crap anymore, so we can get that out of here. And instead of a regular navigation view, what we can now do is we're gonna actually, I'm gonna save this for later. Instead of regular navigation view as we usually have here, we can just go ahead and bring in that custom navigation bar. You see all the parameters and arguments we need to pass through. So we can say content view 1 and pass through the dark color. Now I'm pretty sure you can get some extensions and everything in here. I just had never gone through that, so I'm not too sure about it. But let's say for the bar color, let's make it blue. Well, actually let's make it black just to show off that that white status bar. For the title color, of course, white as well. And for the content, and this is why I said I put this at the end so none of this looks too trailing or ugly. Go ahead and pass all this through here. Get that up here and make sure everything is indented properly. It's actually crashing right now. Okay, so I just figured out why this is crashing. I think what we did wrong here was I didn't do a proper job with the appearance, and that of course that is the UI navigation bar appearance. appearance, that background color, color of the bar. Here we're gonna say bar tint. And then of course we need to specify the appearance. So we have, like I said, a couple of appearances that I mentioned earlier. So a compact, scroll edge, and standard. Okay, it's still crashing. All right, we have to figure this out then. So I actually ran this through a actual simulator because previews really was just throwing machine code. Since this was optional, we never assigned the status bar style property the status bar style, so that's why it was complaining. So we go self.status bar status style, of course. Bring us in, and should be status style. Yes. All right. This bar is not showing the color for some reason. Actually it is showing the color, but as you can see, that's the other thing around it. I remember this does kind of since it doesn't, not exactly within the SwiftUI view, this it's not ignoring the safe area top where the notch. Okay, after some debugging, I did go back over to the UI navigation bar and I added in a scroll edge appearance just for the sake for actual scrollable content. But like I said, it pretty much applied to everything. If we wanted to, of course, if we wanted to apply like a toolbar, getting a toolbar, I'm gonna just show you an example of how it can bend around, a toolbar item. Say a button, specify all of this, image. Say for example it's a plus tint, we're just gonna say white. So you see it does plug in and work with the toolbar modifier within regular view. Now the one mistake that I made here, I didn't realize that, well, first of all, this mistake, foreground color is, I'm gonna make it red for now, so it's a very ugly view, is that since this is within this navigation link, it will apply here, and I thought it wouldn't apply here, but in the sense where you will use multiple navigation views, like I said, within like a tab view, this will only be for that one. Let's say it's a home view, and then if you go to a user view, if you both the home and the user view have navigation or a custom navigation view like we made here, there'll be different colors and other properties as well. In the info.plist within the target of your application, you need to say view controller based appearances. Instead of no, I'm gonna say yes, and this works with the status bar changing instead of the regular status bar style you might have within an application that supports light and dark mode content. Let's get this up and running on a simulator to show y'all what exactly I mean. So as you can see, this is a light and dark mode application. We actually have to change it around, but the status bar is not hidden, it's just black. But as you can see, I'm changing the appearance and it's not moving with the it's not changing with the appearance of the application, and that is all thanks to this plist property right here being there, and we'll have to figure out why it's not changing. Okay, so I actually made a mistake here. So light content will refer to the light content of the status bar. So this is light content, and as you can see, like I said, if we change this light and dark mode, it's not changing, thankfully. So we go back here and do dark content. Now that changes the status bar to dark content, so it'll be dark. And just to show you that this thing is still working as expected, if we go ahead and say toolbar here, say button, action label. This is, like I said, really trash views. This is not my style. Image system name, say trash can. I think it's trash, just for now. And we go ahead and show this off. Now we push to the next view. You would have to specify the actual tint of this view as well. So we can go ahead and say tint color. Let's say make it red. Let's just make this as ugly as possible. We go in here, push to that view. Now the trash can is of course red. Now this is a bit of a bonus, and I'm gonna throw this in here because I don't exactly never like the back title. In some views it looks fine, but in this type of thing I don't really like it. So we can say self.navigationbar back button, where is it? Here it is. So back button display mode. And if we want to make it where just the symbol shows, we can just say do minimum for now, and that's thanks to another developer that I learned this from. All right, and boom, as you can see, the title is gone. So that's just a bonus thing I wanted to throw in there because not a lot of people know about that. All right, and that concludes this video. Of course, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to really get more content out as I learn iOS development. This is just something I've been testing out and trying to learn for the longest. So hopefully, if you have any suggestions or any problems with it, of course, post it right on GitHub within the issues tab. And maybe if I missed out on anything or what I could have possibly made this a little bit simpler, then of course mention that as well. But just for the sake of what we have going on here, I think this is really good. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, like I've said, please consider subscribing, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.